Welcome, everyone, to the first broadcast of the Creation Frequency podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Murphy, and I'm here with my husband, Michael Murphy, the author of the Creation Frequency. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you, honey, for agreeing to host this. I have to tell you guys a little short story here. My wife is an attorney, and so she has an attorney personality, so it's not made for hosting my podcast. But she graciously agreed to do this to kind of help me, because as you get older, you lose a little bit of focus. So she's here to keep me on track. So I'll tell you a little story. How do I know this, that she's a little anxious? So over the summer, we were in Ireland, and we were on a tour, and we walked like 2 miles along the Ireland coast to go to a swinging bridge made of wood and rope. And you go from land to an island, but you got to walk about 50 feet on this swinging bridge, and it's blowing 30 miles an hour. I didn't know it at the time, but the whole walking for 2 miles, she was getting anxious and anxious and anxious. I didn't realize when we were walking over to the island that she was increasingly getting more and more anxious. And then when we got to the island, she refused to go back. And it's impossible not to go back. So I'm picking up the same energy right now. So thank you for doing this. And also to tell you what a great wife she is. I've totally destroyed our house here creating this podcast. So we'll probably be moving to a studio soon. But anyways, thank you for allowing to do this. And I want to share with the viewer here. This is our first podcast, so there's going to be a lot of glitches and a lot of goof ups. And I don't even know if there was a link to when we went live, and I don't know if anybody's watching this live on Facebook or YouTube, but regardless, I should say, there's some gifts if you are here live, and we'll do this every week for the next 4 weeks. So people that tune in live and they give us their name and their email and tell us what gift they want, we will deliver it the next day. So we have two gifts. One is a pair of books. One is called a book I wrote in 2014 called Love Unfiltered. I am told by people that have read this book that anybody that's gone through a loss or grief, because it was written in deep loss and grief mode. And so people really pick that up and they resonate. And there's a lot of hope in this book for people that have lost something dear to them. So I just want to share that with you. And the other book is Living in Color. And this book came out about a year and a half ago. And this is a powerful book for anybody that wants a deeper understanding of love and commitment and wants to understand what it's like to have a serious illness and to literally transcend that, even no matter what the outcome is, whether you live or die, it's transcending suffering and literally transcending death. And it's a powerful book if you want to learn how to do that. And so these are one gift, and you just put your name and your email address and put books, and we will send you the electronic version. I'm able to do that because I own both of these books. This particular book here, The Creation Frequency, which this show is based on, I don't own the book. So I'm going to go one better than giving you the book. The book's like $10 on Amazon, but I'm going to give you the online course. It's about a 7-hour online course. I want to give it to you for free. If you're an in-person live viewer, that means March 16th at 5 p.m. Pacific, you're watching this show. Drop us that. There might not be anybody watching this live one, the first one, because we're late in promoting it, so on and so forth. But this show is going to gain momentum. This show is going to really help you to understand the law of attraction and manifestation.
Okay, everyone, don't forget to sign up and get those beautiful gifts.
Oh, good job, honey. But I wanted to also say that going forward, we're gonna share some powerful information here about manifesting the life of your dreams. And so, speaking of that, I'm 65 years old, and so I'm manifesting something different than a 50-year-old and a 40-year-old and a 30-year-old. So when you're younger, you need to manifest a family, and if that's your desire, wealth, if that's your desire, or money or freedom or whatever you want. It changes as time goes. So I learned how to manifest money and this and that. And so now I want to manifest something greater. But we're going to get really into these things, how you can do it, how you can find out what it is you truly want, and how you can use this creation frequency process, which we're going to get into here in a little second, so you'll understand it, to really use this to manifest your life.
Mike, that sounded great. But I really want to know, why did you created this show?
Well, that's a good question. Thank you for that. So two reasons. One, I have a sincere desire to really help people. And I learned this process in 1982 when my life was a complete mess, which I'll share with you in a second. And I learned how to start creating a better life and becoming a creator. But life is difficult, and I choose to lead a very difficult life. Most of my problems are my own doing, for whatever reason, probably my early childhood programming. I tend to get into a lot of trouble. A lot of my life has been lived taking 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. So no matter where you are in your life, whatever struggle, whatever difficulty, whatever challenge, I promise you, odds are I've been there one way or another. And if not personally, through someone close to me. And so it's really about understanding that. And so I'm for the underdog, because I've been an underdog my whole life. I've made my life very difficult, probably because of my early programming, which we all have early programming. If it was dysfunctional, you're going to be dysfunctional. That's just the way the world works. But that doesn't mean you're a victim. You're a creator. And that's what we're going to talk a lot about on this show, future shows. And I'm excited about next week's show, where we're going to get into, a lot of people are running around with compulsive personalities, and they make split decisions, get into a big mess. I used to be like that, so I understand it. Maybe I'm still like that. Other people have bad habits, and they don't know how to get out of that rut and undo them. So we're going to teach you how to unwire those in your brain and your neural pathways, unwire those bad habits and create good positive habits. And we do that through the creation frequency process. So I'm super excited about this show. I'm glad you're with us. I hope if you're viewing in live, you take advantage of one of these gifts. The other reason I want to do this show is we're building an unbelievable 16-day transformational health retreat here in Medellin, Colombia. And this is my passion, and I'll tell you why. And immediately after this show, we go to the Mountains of Hope show. And so you'll get the whole process of what we're doing here. But this is my real passion, to build something where people can come and transform their lives. We also have a charitable component to it, where we give a scholarship to one person every month. They come, we fly them here for free. We give them the whole experience for free, and we follow them for a year for free to make sure that the transformation that they want and desire in their life sticks. So really, it's two reasons. One, I want to help people, and I was being able to give this gift through the creation frequency process in 1982. It radically transformed my life. So I want that for you.
Can you go a little bit deeper? You just said that you were taught the creation frequency in 1982. Can you tell us the story a little bit deeper?
Yeah. And for those of you guys that have read my book or purchased the course, taken the course, and are familiar with it, I apologize, but I want to say this in the first show, because in future shows, we can refer back to my personal story. So I want to get it on video here tonight. And it's a powerful story, honestly. It's 1982. I'm a 24-year-old man, and my life is a complete and utter mess. Now, I grew up in an alcoholic home with a we think our childhood is great until we wake up and we see all the programming and we have to undo it. And then we realize it wasn't as great as we thought. But my father grew up in a home with 2 alcoholic parents. I was blessed to only have one, but it created a thing in me. And maybe I have a personality that lends itself to rebellion, right? But I became a habitual runaway and juvenile delinquent. I was probably arrested 8 times between 14 and 18. And I ran away so many times. And I have an 8th grade education. And so in 1982, I find myself in a 12-step program, miserable. I can't stay off drugs. I can't quit drinking. I got no education. I have no net worth. I'm 40 grand in debt. I have no credit but bad credit. My future's not very bright. And a buddy of mine in the 12-step program I was in says, "Hey, your life is a real mess, but I might know someone that'll be able to help you." And he introduced me to a man named Doug Fitzgerald. When I first wrote my book, in Love Unfiltered, I tell the story, and I didn't realize that I couldn't remember his name, so I referred to him as the Mystery Man. So that's kind of cute and sexy. But really, his name was Doug Fitzgerald. He was an amazing man. I didn't appreciate or realize any of this at the time. I was just a loser kid with no money, no hope. And so my friend says, "Hey, I know this guy might be able to help you." So I went to his house. He says, "Mike, if you come here every week for 1 hour a week, I promise you, you will get everything that you want in life." Okay. I had nothing to lose. Oh, by the way, Mike, it's $50 an hour. Okay. I didn't have 50 cents, right? I actually wrote a bad check for the first session. And here's what he said. He said, "Listen, we're going to create a balanced life for you for the first time. And he broke my life into 6 categories, personal development, contribution, wealth, business, contribution, all these kind of things, right? And he said, what do you want most in your life right now? Well, 2 years prior, I'd walked out on my 2-month-old baby girl and her mother, who was my wife, and I abandoned them. And because I'm a habitual runaway, I ran away, but she wouldn't take me back. So there I am, divorced. I can't stay off drugs or alcohol, and my life is a mess. And I said, I want my family back. And this woman hates my guts. He goes, well, let me tell you the power of writing intention as if it already exists, because there's no difference between imagination or reality. So we're going to write that intention as if it already exists. So here I am, a woman that hates my guts, wants nothing to do with me, sees me for 5 minutes to exchange the baby once a week and 5 minutes twice, and gets her $187 child support payment. And there we go. So we write this intention. Lisa and I are so happily married. Our daughter, Michelle, thrives in this marriage. And while I'm writing it, I got the weirdest feelings going on, right? Because it's not true, okay? And I'm writing this desired outcome that I want. And so it had a weird feeling. It made me feel very strange and anxious, but also gave me great comfort and possibility and hope. And so that's what we all need today is hope. So I write this intention. So I write 5 more, and then every week we meet for an hour a week for 5 weeks. So at the end of 6 weeks, I got 6 intentions. I want to reconcile with my family. I want to own my own business. I want to own my own home. I want to make $10,000 a month. I want to run a marathon. And he says, the last one is on me. You have to create a contribution intention. Well, when I was younger, when I knew my dad's story, I wanted to create a home for troubled youth. I became a troubled youth, so I'll set that as my contribution goal. So we have these 6 powerful intentions. Week 7 is where it gets fascinating and interesting. He brings out a boom box. Now, this is 1982. For you younger people, that's what we used to listen to music on. And he puts in a cassette tape of theta brainwave music. He hands me a microphone attached to a tape recorder, and he puts in a blank tape. He says, Mike, I want you to read this relaxation script while I play this music, and then I want you to read your 6 intentions. I do all that. He pops the cassette tape out of the tape recorder. I can remember that part like it's yesterday. I leave there 7 weeks later with a cassette tape with relaxation script, theta brainwave music, and my 6 intentions, $350 poorer. And he goes, in this way, he says, Mike, I want you to listen to this tape every morning, right when you awake, because you're coming out of delta into theta, which is great for manifesting. And then I want you to listen every night while you're going in from beta into theta. And so that's the best time to listen. So I start doing it. Lo and behold, I wake up I own my own business 6 months later, and I've owned my own business ever since. I mean, these downloads that I would receive. So there's a magic in this. So one, I'm reprogramming my subconscious mind, what I truly desire. I'm piercing the conscious mind because I'm in a self-hypnotic trance. I'm in that theta brainwave state like you are as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old. That's why it's so easy to learn when you're young. And then more importantly, and this is, I think, the magic sauce, is that sound, energy, vibration, frequency is going out into the universe. So basically, that's the story. Right now, I think it's time we bring on a guest.
No, but wait, I have another question for you. You just said there's no difference between imagination and reality.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit further, please?
Honey, I would love to, but I just talked way too long, and we got to bring our guest on before we screw up the whole show.
Oh, okay.
So if you could introduce Jacob or bring him on.
Okay, everyone, we have a young man. Join us now, Jacob from Ohio. Jacob, welcome to the Creation Frequency.
Hello, guys. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Jacob, I know that you love the creation frequency process and you put it into your life. Can you just share with the viewers briefly, because I took way too much time, what your experience has been?
Yeah, I mean, prior to the creation frequency, I'd known about the law of attraction, manifestation, affirmations, all the kind of general universe, spiritual kind of stuff. But I never really knew how to utilize it and make it work in like a realistic way where when I decide what I want, it actually just comes to me and just kind of literally falls into my lap. And so when I started getting into your work with the course, I read your books. It was just this deep dive intensive into the universe, the law of attraction, frequency, energy, vibrations, how to tune in, how to align yourself and your body. And it just, as you know, came at such a perfect time for me, because I was in college and I wasn't feeling too aligned with that environment and that path that I was headed down. And deep down, I knew, as most of us probably have felt at some point in our life, that, I was meant for more. There's more than this. There's more abundance, more love, more connection, more service. And, college wasn't quite the path for me. So I had a lot of turmoil trying to, inside of me as I'm figuring this out. And as I go through the creation frequency process, it immediately helped me nail down my intentions and what I really truly want. And what does that look like? What does that feel like? Where am I when I create this life that I dream of, essentially? And so the work of the creation frequency and going through that process really helped me to paint that picture. And then you go through the process, you use the app, you do the secret sauce stuff, and stuff started happening. It didn't happen immediately, but I stuck with the process. And every night, every morning, I just kept getting clearer and clearer and reading my intention, listening to it, reading it at night, listening to it, and just seeing it every single day. It's like everything that I had intended and desired and dreamed for myself, since I was so focused on it, it really just had no choice but to come to me. And it eventually did. And I mean, I'm not saying I've achieved so many amazing things, but what I did intend, I mean, I've manifested an amazing, loving relationship. I got a car out of the blue with some silly intention that I really didn't even put too much focus on, but it was something I had written down. And a few months later, it just magically kind of appears. Magically, I say. And so there's just so many things that have happened in my life that are just too cool to be a coincidence. And so this process, I'm just so grateful for it. And I truly, truly believe that as I keep practicing and doing this process every single day, it just builds that belief inside me that I do have this internal power, that it's mysterious. I don't need to fully understand it, but there's something there. I'm a creator. I'm a co-creator. And when I consistently focus on this process and what I want to achieve, and I tune in, things start happening in my life. It's just.
Let me interrupt you 1 second, because you sparked something I want to make sure the viewers get tonight. And that's the app. That's the Creation Frequency app. So we're not in 1982 anymore. And so you don't have to get a boom box. You don't have to get a tape recorder. We've created an app. It's free. It's on iTunes and Google Play. The Theta Brainwave music is already embedded. The script for the relaxation script is there, or we've recorded one, but I really urge you to do it in your own voice. And so you just record your intentions and you listen every morning, every night. So I just want to make sure the viewer knows that. You said something. Well, a couple things. One, the power, you found the power within. And so that's the other thing for you guys. We're looking out with our eyes to look out, but the true power of who we are is within. And so could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, I think it's just when you first start on this journey, I mean, really just the world and society, they put so much fear into us, and we lose that sense of self, and that the innateness that when we're born, I mean, when we're a child, we have this wholeness, abundance, love. Our heart is just full of the amazing gift of life. And I think we lose that as we just kind of go through the journey of what life is. And so, yeah, it's just, you start this process not really knowing. Maybe there's a little flame that you know deep down inside you. It's there. And when you start this journey in this process, you kindle that flame, you start going, you set your intentions, you set your clear vision, and your trust in that power grows as you take action doing this. And so that's kind of.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but let me ask you this. Because you said you're a creator, and I want to speak to that in a second. But you also said you're a co-creator. What does that mean?
The co-creator, that just means that I'm co-creating with everything around me. I mean, it's happening right here with you. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? Who could be watching this podcast right here live or in a replay? That could be some kind of relationship that forms with me way down the line. And it's just everything is at least my belief, is kind of co-conspiring to support you as long as you're tuned in and aligned and you're really following your heart. And so that's what I've just been striving to do, because as I follow my heart and I serve with love and I just keep giving and following this process. And I mean, some of the things, maybe they can be selfish, like wanting to create this great career and, make money, like you were saying, as young people kind of want to do, and they want to start a family. In a sense, that's selfish, but in another sense, once I do that, it opens up the next level of what I can give.
Let me suggest to you, it's not selfish. It's selfish if you're doing it your entire life. So I think it was Carnegie said that we spend the first half of our life making money so we can spend the second half of our life giving away. So what you want to manifest right now is money so you can have freedom, and freedom is powering. And so you're a creator. So let me ask you this, because we've joined forces, so you can elaborate a little bit of our new relationship, if you will.
Yeah. So with our kind of new relationship, I mean, the role that I'm starting to assume is that's kind of just fallen in by divine guidance, and it's just happened as part of this process with me, really, as I'm stepping up as the creation frequency course administrator and kind of the manager, you could say, for the Mike Murphy Unfiltered brands. And we're really starting to ramp this up, and just preparing ourselves with this podcast, with all our upcoming offerings, with everything, with the community, the Facebook group, the family. We just want to serve. We want to serve bigger. We want to serve better. We want to serve harder, because, I've been through this course. Mike obviously is an expert on this. A bunch of people have been through this course, and things are happening. Things are happening in my life. They've been happening in Mike's, and the people who've taken this journey. And I want that for our community, for our family. And that's the direction we're headed, where we're growing this into a powerful family of co-creators, people who are just tuned in, they're aligned, and they're creating a great life for themselves so that they can give back and serve their communities. It's just this amazing ripple effect. And that's what we're co-creating right here. And it's all starting to come to fruition. We've got a lot of stuff coming down the line, and we really just want to help everyone in this family get back in your heart, get back in your body, and truly feel those feelings of abundance, love, gratitude, wholeness that are innately within you. Those are the feelings you should live in every single day, because as you live in those feelings, that's when you're tuned in, that's when you're tapped in, that's when you're aligned, you feel good, you look good, and you just have this inner knowing and inner trust that the universe, it's got your back. And as you just keep doing, go ahead.
First of all, let me say a couple things. One, first of all, thank you for being our first guest ever on the New Creation Frequency podcast show. So thank you very much. Two, I apologize to your parents for inspiring you to drop out of college. Three, it's been a pleasure and joy to watch you grow and to manifest all these wonderful, beautiful things into your life. And it's another joy to have you on our team and to work with you and to create a better life for not only us, but everybody, our community, and eventually the entire world. Anything you'd like to say to Jacob, honey?
Well, thank you for coming to the show, and we're looking forward to work with you, Jacob.
Thanks for having me, guys. And I just want to say, before I hop off really quickly, just to make sure that this gets out there, that I have a quick ask for everybody who is listening, because this is going to be going live on iTunes and Spotify probably like 3 or 4 weeks from now. And your feedback means the world to us. We're doing this for everyone listening. We're doing this for our community, not just for us to put stuff out there and just make noise in this world. We really want to serve and make an impact. So if you've loved what you've heard, if you want to be a part of this mission, this movement that we're creating, we'd really love if you would leave a review. Obviously, this is not for people who are listening live right now on March 16th. This is for those on Spotify, iTunes, podcast platforms. Please leave a review. And I'm going to give you a little ethical bribe where we're going to send you a special mystery gift that probably Mike doesn't even know about right now, but we're going to send it to you. We think it's priceless. And so to claim that gift, all you have to do is leave a review and then head over to mikemurphyunfiltered.com/mystery gift. After leaving your review, follow the instructions on the page and we'll get you taken care of. That's all I've got for you guys. Much love, much gratitude.
Thank you,
Thank you, Jacob.
See you
Amen.
guys.
Let me clarify one thing he said. He meant to say not when we're live now. So we have gifts for live viewers. And when we push out to Spotify and Apple iTunes, that's the recorded version. And that's when you put in that mystery gift. So you can sign up now, Mike Murphy Unfiltered. But I just wanted to correct because he said when we go live on Spotify, which will be recorded. Okay, honey.
Okay, I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight, and I hope to see you next week. And please stay with us to see the next show, Mountains of Hope.
And
Thank
let me
you.
add one thing because I don't know how we're doing on time. Can anybody tell me how we're doing? We're good. We're good. Okay. Well, that's the first edition of the Creation Frequency Show. I want you to realize you're a creator. You're not a victim. Take back your power and go out there, live with passion, and create the life of your dreams. Until next week, go out there and love anybody you can and make your life a better place.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. You have been listening to the Creation Frequency with Mike Murphy. Raise your vibrations and manifest the life of your dreams. You can watch or listen live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com and subscribe on all your favorite podcast apps. Each show, Mike shares tools based on the Creation Frequency formula to help you manifest and tap into the power of the universe and yourself. Get more of the Creation Frequency and check out our course at CreationFrequency.com.
The Creation Frequency Show is sponsored by Mountains of Hope Experience, a life-changing 16-day retreat, deep healing, detox, and transformation. For more information, visit mountainsofhope.com.
Welcome to Mountains of Hope with Mike Murphy. Reboot and transform your physical, mental, and emotional being. This show is transformational from the inside and out. Hear from experts on detoxing your body, rewiring your neural pathways, cleaning up emotional wounds of your past, and living in the spiritual life of your dreams. Let go and start becoming yourself, in tune with your spiritual life. You'll leave this show with Mountains of Hope. Let's get started.
Everyone to the Mountains of Hope podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Tangarife. We are super excited that you are joining us today. The Mountains of Hope podcast is part of the Mountains of Hope Transformational Health Retreat Center located in Medellin, Colombia. And joining me tonight is the founder of Mountains of Hope, Mike Murphy. Good evening, Mike.
Thank you, Kelly. Hey, guys, first of all, it's great to be here. I don't know if you caught the show before Creation Frequency, but Mountains of Hope is our passion. And this is what we're working really, really hard down here in Medellin, Colombia to create. an unbelievable 16-day transformational health retreat. And so, but I want to give a little gift. We're trying to build this podcast as well, so we can give this experience to as many people as possible. In future shows, we're going to get into how to physically detox your body, how to rewire your neural pathways and create the life of your dreams, how to move from your head to your heart and fill it up with love and gratitude and become whole and complete. That's the purpose of this podcast. And it's all to support this beautiful dream of transformation we have at this Health Retreat Center. So I want to just offer a few gifts. If you're tuning in live, and we'll do this for the next month. So if you're live and you put a comment in either YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're watching this, we want to give you some gifts. So we have two gifts. One is a pair of books, Love Unfiltered, which I wrote in 2014. It's a beautiful book for anybody who's experienced great grief or loss, because it was written from that state. And so I hear a lot of great things from people that have lost, how it comforts them. And this book, Living in Color, is a beautiful book for anybody that's suffering or anybody that's struggling in life that needs hope and wants love and wants to understand how to love and the power of love to heal. No matter what happens, no matter what the outcome is, there's healing in everything to be had. So just put your name and your email and put books, and we'll send you both of these books electronically, because I own these books. I don't own this book. The publisher owns this book. So instead of the book, I'm going to give you something more powerful and better, and that's the online course. So just put in the comments, name, email, course, and we'll send you that. If you've already taken the course or familiar with the work, put in somebody that was really struggling that you think this will help them, and we'll send it to them as well. And if you hit like, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff, and ask us a question or give us input, we'll give you both. Just say, hey, I'm asking you guys a question. I want both, and God bless you. So anyways, we're glad you're here. Super excited. Now let me introduce Kelly. So Kelly is my colleague here building the Mountains of Hope Transformational Retreat Center. She's also the general manager once we get it open. Right now, we're under construction. We're building it. But more importantly, she's a life coach, or a health coach, I should say, which is different than a life coach. So a health coach really understands the anatomy of the body, how to detox it, how to put the right nutrients and all that in. So these are kind of people that you're going to experience if you're fortunate enough to be able to come to this retreat. So I just wanted to introduce Kelly, and there she is.
Thank you so much. It's really an amazing experience to be part of the team. I think that Mountains of Hope Retreat is a place where we put together everything that we're going to be teaching here. I mean, everything here, you can start using it at home. You can start taking steps in your own place. But Mountains of Hope is a place where we kind of join with amazing people, community, and we put everything together for you in the same place, in a beautiful, amazing place in Medellin, Colombia. So I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you, Mike, for the invitation.
My pleasure. We're glad you're here.
Okay, Mike, there is something that I always ask people and the visionary behind any project. What's your why? Why do you start Mountains of Hope? Why is this such a passion for you?
Well, that's a great question. So I let me tell you the story. So I lost my wife, Margot, in 2011 after a 9-year battle with breast cancer. And in devastating grief, I had surrendered to whatever was to show up in my life. And a month later, I got a call from a friend. He said, Mike, my 38-year-old sister-in-law, stage 4 breast cancer, is moving from Wyoming to the Bay Area. Can you introduce her to Margot's oncologist? And so here I am, a month out, still in terrible grief and suffering and pain, taking Amanda to Margot's oncologist. And he says, okay, Amanda, I need to get some tests. So I had nothing to do. I went with Amanda, and she 3 or 4 doctor's visits or tests or surgeries, whatever. I would go and hold her hand and just be her advocate. She didn't have a husband. She was a minority. She didn't have good insurance. Complete opposite circumstances that I experienced with my wife, Margot. And so we go back. And so I was bothered by the way they treated her. I noticed they either talked down to her or over her head, and it became very uncomfortable, but I didn't have a place to say anything. Then we go back to Margot's oncologist. He says, Amanda, the best protocol to extend your life are these 3 chemotherapies simultaneously. Unfortunately, your insurance will only pay for one, so that's all I can give you. And I was shocked. I was flabbergasted. I just immediately reached into my pocket, said, here's my credit card. You give her whatever she wants. And that, unbeknownst to me, was the seed that became the Love for Margot Foundation. And for about 4 years, I worked with over 150, 200 women that were below the poverty line, battling cancer. And the theory would be, is they don't have money to begin with. They get this diagnosis, they lose their job, their expenses go up, and there was no safety net. They were totally screwed, basically. And so I started this foundation. The theory would be, we'll give you $1,000 a month to support you while you go treatment. You get treated, you get better, you go back to work. I think it worked once or twice, okay, out of 151. Historically, they get sicker, and die. And basically, they were at the mercy of the system. There's a huge injustice in medicine. There's a huge injustice everywhere in the world. And so after doing this for 4 years, one, it wasn't sustainable because I was going broke. And secondly, it wasn't working. And so I go, okay, what can I do? I got to strengthen their immune system. I'm going to teach them about their immune system. So while today's medicine is destroying their immune system, let's show them how to build it up. So I bought water purifiers and juicers and vegetables, and they love me and I love them. And it was life transforming experience for me. I've never met so strong, courageous, beautiful souls. But that wasn't sustainable either, because now they think I'm their doctor and I'm a car salesman, right? So I go, okay. So long story short, I decided to come to Colombia. I decided to look for a place to build this beautiful retreat center where these women could come. And so we're really close to finally doing it. It's taken longer because I came here. We tried some other types of retreats. We had to figure our way out. I'm doing business in a different country. It's completely different than my home country. So I learned a lot, did a lot of failing and getting up and starting again and trying to figure things out. And then I fell in love, got married to my current wife, and then the pandemic hit. So everything kind of froze. So I played golf for 2 years. And so now here we're really back at it, working really, really hard. So that's my why. So we call it conscious capitalism. So we will sell it to people and they will come and we will make a profit. And we take some of that profit and we give a scholarship every month through the Love for Margot Foundation, which is our foundation in America, where we fly someone here at our expense. We put them through the whole process and we follow them for a year to help them transform. Because the whole thing is, what I've learned through all of this, the power to heal ourselves is within us. And so that's what we want to teach. And that's what the Transformational Health Retreat is all about.
And I think that is very important for you guys to remember. The power to heal ourselves is in us. I mean, it's about we looking inside. It's about learning how to look inside of us because it is there. I mean, and I think what Mike just shared with us with the Love from Margot Foundation, which we work closely together with the Mountains of Hope Retreat Place. We actually also collect sometimes donations through the Love for Margot Foundation, and we actually match it. I mean, whatever you guys donate, we actually match it as a team. And that if for any reason you guys felt like this is something I want to collaborate, be part of, just go to loveformargot.org/donate. And that will be one of the ways that we can support those actually in need. Because as Mike just shared with us, the heart of all of this is helping those who actually sometimes feel hopeless. And if that is you, I mean, you're also welcome to contact us and subscribe and say, hey guys, when you have these scholarships, please, I raise my hand and I want to be part of it. And we also created a program for this. So you're all guys welcome. Thank you, Mike.
Kelly, can I add something real quick? Because you made me think of something. So the other thing is, we only have we have 20 acres, and I want Kelly to tell you how beautiful it is in a minute. But we only have 12 bedrooms. And so fully maxed out double occupancy of 24 people. We anticipate selling maybe 16 of these every month. So that's only 16 people can come here a month and providing one scholarship. And so I really encourage you, and it's going to be price. So I don't want to talk about pricing right now, but I'll give you an example. Double occupancy for 16 days. And this doctor supervised, IVs, ozone therapy. We'll tell you everything you got. Let me just say it's very affordable for right now. But what I encourage you to do is go to our website, mountainsofhope.com, and raise your hand and say, hey, and there's a tab there, a link there, say, hey, I want to be notified when you guys start taking deposits, because I promise you, my real belief is there's going to be 100 people every month that want to come. We only have room for 16. We'll figure out how to accommodate more people, but in the beginning, and that's important. And it's important of who this is for. So I'm really building this for myself in a lot of ways, because I'm 65 years old and I need to reboot my physical system. And then we get into the mental and the emotional. I'm okay there, but I got to reboot this physical thing. And we can never learn too much about how the mind works or how the heart works or how the soul works, right? So, but it's also for people who've been recently diagnosed with something, whether it's diabetes or maybe obesity or depression or anxiety, or it's stage 1 cancer, something like that. You have to be physically fit to come to this. But this is for somebody that's stuck in a rut. I've been many times in my life, I've been stuck in a rut and I needed something to jumpstart me out of it. That's why I love these books, these personal development books. I love these workshops. I go to all this stuff myself because we need that. Life is difficult, in my opinion. My life is difficult. And the way the world is today is becoming more and more difficult. So I really want to inspire people to lift your hand up right now. Do you think you're interested in this? Because it will sell out. And so and all you got to do is tell us right now, I'm interested, and you'll be the first ones we call. That's all I want to say to you right now.
Even we can use right now the chat also on this live stream, and then you can also put your name, say, I'm interested, let us know your email. And that's also another way that you can do it whilst we are streaming this podcast.
Yeah.
So one of the great things about this retreat is that Mike is not just the founder. He's also going to be like really involved in the everyday in our retreat. So Mike, can you let us know, like, what is your actual role during the retreat?
Well, I definitely don't want your role because that's, you get all the problems. But my role, so it's 2 weeks, it's 16 days, but basically 2 weeks. And Kelly's role is more the detox along with Sarah. And my role really is the first week, all I'm going to do is show up about 8 o'clock at night, and I'm going to expose you to all the different types of meditations. Thanks to the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, I just spent a week in Cartagena, Colombia. I wasn't a big meditator. I love Dr. Joe's work. I'm a big part of his community. I love everything he's doing, but I really was lazy when it came to the meditation part. I probably meditated 30 hours in 5 days over there. It's totally transformed everything about me. So my role in the first week is I want to expose you, of course, to his meditations, which are guided meditations, which is one way to meditate. But expose you to other ones. The one I'm playing with right now is brain entrainment, the left and the right, getting that, man, it feels so amazing. And I'm able to take the energy out of my body and light up my mind and get these amazing downloads how to build this beautiful retreat center, right? So I'm going to expose you the first week, different meditations. You're going to meditate. You're going to learn to love it. And it's not as difficult as people think it is. It's very simple, actually, once you realize what the outcome really wants to be and how to go about it. So that's week 1. Week 2, Kelly's going to detox your body, and we're going to give you IVs and injections and all kinds of stuff, coffee enemas, Kalimas, all this stuff to detox the body, along with a lot of education, how to get heavy metals, how to continue this detox when you go home, because it's a long process, the way the toxicity in the world is today. But then the second week, it's kind of my role, and I'm going to present the great works of people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, some of his meditations, some of his work from the books. And then I love the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton. See, Bruce, in my opinion, he merges the physical with the spiritual. Dr. Joe is a lot of spiritual, which I love, but we got to deal in this physical world too. And what I love about Dr. Bruce Lipton in the biology of belief is he's dealing with something physical, a cell, which is phenomenal. If you just understand how a cell works, you will never question there was a creator. And then the consciousness of the cell, the unseen world. And so when we understand how to navigate the seen world, which is easier, and then we learn how to navigate the unseen world, this is when we can manifest what we truly desire. So, and the other teachers that I love is Byron Katie, doing the work, the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, the 4 questions, the turnaround. If Louise Hay says that almost every illness is linked to some emotional wound. And you use Byron Katie's work, you clean this up in a heartbeat. And the other work that I love is the Course in Miracles, especially the part about forgiveness and the deletion of the ego. Who are we really? Am I my thoughts? No. Am I my body? No. So who am I? So this is going to be my role in the second week. We're going to get your energy sky high with this detox and giving you all these great nutrients. And then we're going to really go into education and meditation. And so that's my role.
That's amazing. And for those who are listening to us, that is something that we cater a lot for in our retreats, and is bioindividuality, which means not for everyone. I mean, not everything applies to everyone. And that's why we actually conduct some medical tests before you come to our retreat, for us to see where are you in your journey right now. And that there will be different activities for that first week that Mike just mentioned about the physical detox. And there are things as simple as learning the importance of sleeping, drinking clean water, about how to eat healthy in a way that actually supports our energy, our clarity, and that the performance that we have every single day. So just for those who say like, oh my goodness, this is a detox, is too much. No, don't worry. We are actually tailoring for each person who actually comes and visit Mountains of Hope retreat. So stay tuned. Remember to put in the chat, I'm in. I want to be notified. This is my email, please.
And I don't want Kelly to scare you because it is going to be work. Transformation is work. And if you're stuck in a rut or you're living a life full of bad habits and you want to transform, it takes some work, but we're going to make it fun as well. So right now I'm going to ask Kelly, one, how beautiful the property is. And then she's in charge of all the construction going on, which we're building a lot of the fun stuff. And then we're going to start building this wellness spa and the monastery. So Kelly, just describe the property to me.
Oh my goodness. Just from the entrance, for me, one of the things that I find more peaceful is just being away from the city and in a beautiful nature place. I mean, surrounded by mountains, beautiful views. You get to hear nature, like literally you get to hear nature. It's a place that even for me right now, working on the construction, there is this path that we have for like a hiking that is called Camino de Miguel in Spanish. And I actually do every time that I'm there. And it's a path when you walk among the trees, is peaceful. We have currently a house that I actually said to Mike at the beginning, I mean, just being in this place is healing for me. Like it actually heals. The tranquility, the fact that we actually connect with ourselves, with nature, with God, for me, is just amazing. And we will have amazing features. We will tell you more about it in the next show. But in the meantime, I will say these beautiful mountains in Medellin, like located in a beautiful place. The weather is amazing. From the moment you just get to the place, you literally feel the peace. And the fact that you are away from the city is just, you just get to realize how much noise we have every day in the city when you are in this place. And so you get to find like a lot of peace. And I'm going to say something. Even when you are in your place right now, trying to find nature, trying to go and find a place where you can just go for a walk and you will see what I'm talking about. And this is like exponentially, like times 10, something like that.
Let me just say, because first of all, it's 7,000 feet in the Andes Mountains. Medellin is called the city of eternal spring. And it is spring every day here, literally 60 to 80 degrees, 365 days a year. We're 7,000 feet in the Andes at the equator. And that's the energy here is, I've never experienced anything like this in my life. The moment I walked on the property of Mountains Hope for the first time, I said to myself, if you can't heal here, you're not going to heal anywhere. And that's why I bought it. And that's why we're building this. In addition to that, the Camino de Miguel, which is the walk of Mike. I couldn't help myself. I'm the only gringo in America with that. And so, or South America, I should say. And so it's just such beautiful. But this is destroying our soul, ladies and gentlemen. And nature is the salve that will bring your soul back into you and put you back in touch with your soul. This stuff is really, it's good in certain small little doses, but we got to get into nature and get back to our creator, which I call God, and find that energy again. And that's a beautiful thing of Mountains of Hope. What about the fun stuff we're building down there?
The funnest stuff. So right now we're actually in the middle of having a beautiful pool that it has this infinity feeling. We have a beautiful gym. Sarah is the one actually consulting everything in our gym. It will be different type of training for fitness. We actually have since our founder is a big fan of golf, we have a golf simulator room. We have a putting green. We have a room for games. And on the other side of the house, we actually will have a beautiful spa that we are right now in the middle of designs and everything else. We have many places to actually go for hikes and walks, and I mean, it's amazing. And in our main rooms, I mean, the main house, we have place for us to have our conferences, classes, meditations. The rooms are beautiful. I mean, I gotta say, I mean, they will be amazing.
Well, once again, we invite you to go to mountainsofhope.com. Raise your hand that you just want to be contacted when we start taking deposits. When we don't, that'll probably be mid-May or June. First retreat's not scheduled until September. So we got a lot to do. This thing keeps evolving. Every day it gets better and better and better. Because I feel as if we're co-creating this with the creator of all, which I call God. And so every day, new ideas come, new thoughts, new people show up. So we use from my book, The Creation Frequency, we use a lot of those principles to we're manifesting something beautiful. And because there's so much love attached to it, so much gratitude, and so much purpose to help others, it's becoming something so beautiful. So I hope you can. And let me tell you the other beautiful thing about Medellin, Colombia. It's only a 3-hour flight from Miami. And it's very simple. And once you land in Medellin, it's only 15-minute drive. We pick you up, we take you to our center, and it's only 15 minutes. So it's so simple to get here. You're going to love it. And there's a million other things that we got going on here that we want to share with you in future shows that are going to very, very much help you. What else we got to say?
We have 5 more minutes in this podcast. And I want to say that apart from the activities that we're going to have, if it's your first time in Medellin, we also will take you to different places that are iconic in our city, the good ones for healthy stuff. There is something called, I don't know how to say in English, but it's a place where we basically close some roads for people to go and walk, bike, take the dogs and everything else. And we also have another beautiful scenarios. We have the opportunity also to probably go horse riding. So every team that we have, every community that we have for each retreat, we will actually create different activities also around in the city or in our state. So you can also enjoy part of what Colombia is. And the food. I want to talk about the food. I mean, we actually right now growing also vegetables, herbs in our farm. So we actually can pick them and actually cook with them. And the food will be anti-inflammatory food, but delicious, because a lot of people think that eating healthy is actually eating bad. But we are going to show you guys that actually eating healthy is super tasty, is exploring a new world. So you also will have the opportunity to taste all of our Colombian traditions, but also mixed with other cultures, but with produce from our country.
I wasn't going to share this, but I have to. So
Mike has 4 minutes to share this, but
the first week is a physical detox, right? And basically, we call it juice feasting. So you can really go to our garden, you pull the vegetables that you want to juice, and we make you this delicious juice, right? But it's also a physical detox, and I'm in day 2 of it. So I want to experience the first 7-day physical detox that you're going to go through. And I will say the first day is an intestinal clean. And so that was yesterday. So that was I'll be honest with you, we're going to go very easy on you on that day, because you're going to drink like 9 little glasses of enzymes that are aged for 3 years. So they work so much more effectively. Most enzymes are only aged for 2 or 3 months. So when you drink this, a lot of things are going to move within you, and you're going to become super clean. And more importantly, your energy is going to go through the roof. Then the next 5 days, we're going to give you supplements and drinks that will soften what are called kidney stones, liver stones, gallstones, which we all have in our body. And it's just stuff that wasn't able to get outside of our body, and it calcified into stones because of too much toxicity, overload of toxicity. And everything in today's world is toxic. The food is toxic, the water is toxic, the air is toxic. So of course we're toxic with heavy metals, viruses, bacteria, all I forget those little things you're called, but anyways, so parasites, thank you. And so we need to get all that out of our body, right? So I'm in day 2, so I'm softening the stones, because day number 6, we give you something to drink, and all those stones come out of your body. Your energy goes through the roof. So just because I'm in the middle of this, it's on top of mind awareness. So I want to share this with you. And you're the health coach, so can you elaborate a little bit on this?
I'm just going to say something to you is the experience that you will have through the retreat focusing the physical and the spiritual and the emotional is just healing. And it's about like this part that Mike is talking about, which is the physical part. A lot of the things that we're carrying every day, like lack of energy, poor sleep, brain fog, all of these is also related with our physical and obviously our emotions. So the idea is that we will take you through it's a doctor supervised retreat. We will have people there supporting. It's not you're doing this by yourself. And that is one of the amazing things of the retreat. A lot of people can't find information about this and do it by themselves. But here we take you by the hand. We are with you. And what Mike just said, after you experience that physical detox, it's like your energy, you will feel like a completely different person, because it's not just the physical, we accompany this with emotional part, with spiritual work, with forgiveness, with everything that Mike mentioned before, which is like a super gaining in this process. So Mike, we have 1 minute.
Okay.
If you can just leave the people like one thing that they can do this week to improve their wellness, just one thing.
So go on a juice fast for a day. Just try it. Okay. Pure green juice for one day. Try that for your physical energy. And then go to YouTube and check out Dr. Joe Dispenza. Some of his interviews are profound, but his meditations are there for free. Check out other meditations. Find out what resonates with you. So if you could just do that, start drinking a little bit of green juice, even if you just make it a practice every morning, skip breakfast, drink green juice, learn to meditate, and then more importantly, find someone less fortunate than you and give them a lift up. And I promise you, everything in your life will change.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for hearing the podcast of Mountains of Hope. And just remember, if you type right now, I'm in a course or book, and this is my email, we will have those gifts for you. And we'll also have you in our list for those who actually want to be part of our first retreat in the new place that we are building right now. We really want to help. And as you hear Mike at the beginning, his heart is for people who actually feel hopeless and they feel like they have tried everything. And we are creating amazing things for you to actually experience health, wellness, wholeness. So tune in next week with us in Mountains of Hope show, and we will have every time something for you to do and take action in your own place and at your own pace. Thank you so much for hearing Mountains of Hope. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Night.
You have been listening to Mountains of Hope with Mike Murphy. Reboot and transform your physical, mental, and emotional being. Watch or listen every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. And get the podcast on any of your favorite apps. Mountains of Hope is transformational and shows you how to detox your body, mind, and to live a spiritual life of your dreams. For more healing wisdom and information, visit mountainsofhope.com. The Mountains of Hope show is sponsored by The Creation Frequency. Raise your vibration and visit thecreationfrequency.com today.